But then, and of course, as I mentioned, my DVR mercifully, they didn't want me to see. The DVR gods that we pray to every week don't want me to see what's coming next because my DVR froze because it was 10 o'clock. So again, here's this big angle. And I guess it's necessary to artificially inflate, as we have broken down mathematically, their overall number. But to have an overrun where, but of course, I've seen what I need to see. Tony Schiavone gets in the ring and basically said, well, Sting, who's your final opponent going to be? And wouldn't you know who won the pony? The Buckaroos. I thought that they were supposed to be from, where was Buck Owens from out in California? Bakersfield. I thought the Buckaroos were supposed to be from Bakersfield, but they're from Cucamonga. And I encourage everybody to look up, because it was covered on Twitter, the ludicrosity and the ridiculousness of the way that they looked. But you got to see the pictures, you got to see the clip, whatever. They both, now their facial hair choice, Brian, I saw people liken it to the 70s movie villain, but it just the Bond fucking henchman, not even the boss, it's not like impressive or anything, it's just there. They're trying to show, I guess,
maybe in
they
France
have hair on their testicles.
Maybe if the James Bond film was in France, they could be the henchmen.
French henchmen. They're French. They're French henchmen. But what was more, they used to come out with tennis shoes and the fucking frilly things, and I don't know what the fuck they were wearing. But now they came out. One of them is wearing a black suit, and one of them is wearing an all-white suit, to where they looked like they had just come from a casting call of a goddamn amateur production of Spy versus Spy from Mad Magazine. And they stand there, and from what I am led to believe by all the evidence I've been able to turn up, that's all that happened. They just stood there. Did you see anything else?
No, they played their music. They stood there. The crowd wasn't exactly going crazy. There was a shot when the music started playing, they had a wide shot, and they started panning in. And I'm watching everyone. There was one guy opposite the camera jumping for a second. No one else moved. No one moved.
You ever think he got stung by a fucking hornet on his ass?
Not only did a lot of people not want to see the Young Bucks come back right away, but to have them in this match, I think for a lot of people that want to enjoy a last match for Sting, this may not be the opponent they would want to see in there. There is an argument that some people are making that the Young Bucks may be the perfect guys to get in there to have the best possible match with Sting. If they're going to do a tag match...
Well, they haven't been worried about it so far when they put him in all these fucking scrambled egg cluster fucks about that are seen by more people than this are going to see this pay-per-view. So why should they? No, trust me, from an insider business standpoint, these two jolly jokers see 15,000 tickets sold in Greensboro already, and like when Hogan added himself to the fucking card against Goldberg or whatever, when they'd already sold 40,000 in the Georgia Dome, they swooped back in. They convinced Tony, well, we'll take all these bumps and we'll fly for Sting and we'll make him look like $1 million, so they get to be in the big match in front of 15,000 people with their new suits and their new stashes. And because of Tony's stash and its never-ending bottom, he went for it. That's what they did. They're glory hogs. And they've swooped back. They might be able to have a great match. What about drawing money? What about selling tickets? They've known Sting was going to retire for all these months and months, and this is the best thing they've come up with.
Well, let me read you a quote here. This was tweeted out by Wrestle Talk. This is from Dave Meltzer on his podcast.
Oh, boy.
There is no tag team in wrestling in the last how many years? Maybe even ever, but certainly in the last 20 years, there is no tag team in wrestling that is better at carrying people to good matches.
Oh, good Lord.
The things that they have done with Private Party.
The things that they have done to Private Party.
With Dante and Darius Martin.
Who are... God damn it, I swear to God, if Dante and Darius Martin right here, as we sit here right now, we're on a street corner in the United States of America with a sign that says we'll wrestle for food, nobody would know who the fuck they were.
When these guys were right out of the indies, had never done a big match, and they made both of those teams look like they were the best tag team in wrestling.
Oh, Christ.
And teams that in 5 years were going to be through the roof. And
what?
And I'm not confident that either of those teams are ever going to be at that level that they looked like. Private Party still never had a match that good again. The Martins, I don't know they've had a match that good. So
fuck? They're going to be the top teams in 5 years, except they've never been that good again.
And those matches were a while ago. So because of those matches, these guys are, the other argument.
If those matches were so great, then why are these guys now not in the main events? And why are they not selling tickets? And why are people not saying, "Oh, Dante, we love you," in massive numbers or whatever the fuck? They're not, because they're not over. They have a good match which a smaller and smaller subsection of the greater United States of America wrestling population says is great, and they don't sell any tickets. They don't draw any money because they're not over, because they look like the interchangeable fucking children playing on their trampolines. And that's why the other company is kicking their ass, because there's grown men with hair on their chest and balls. And they're fighting each other in some respect instead of cooperative parkour. And they can't get it. And so these children are going to come in and take a bunch of bumps for Sting and fly around for Sting and put Sting over in however fashion. And the money at the live event has already been drawn before they ever even knew this. But they could have actually had a money pay-per-view match lined up instead of this last-minute bullshit from these glory hogs.
Unless Sting said he wanted to have this match with the Young Bucks for his last match,
then somebody should have talked him out of it, because he's still the employee. He's not the booker. He's not the promoter. He's not the owner of the company. He's not signing his check. Sting, you need to go out with a big money match, not a goddamn indie-rific fucking smart fan jack-off match.
And I'm not trying to make this about the Bucks and FTR, but imagine if this was FTR versus Sting and Darby in Greensboro. They already sold the tickets.
Jesus Christ.
It's Sting's retirement match.
There's the best match in the goddamn possible in the available pool of pro wrestlers today. Sting and Darby Allin in Greensboro at FTR. And it would be a professional, responsible fucking way to send Sting off, instead of these guys playing with their own fucking peckers again.
Well, they showed up. They have their new look. They were going to reinvent themselves because they were dead in the water previously, and they've certainly not lit up anything in the last few hours, at least in terms of the fashion blogs. We'll find out what the
neither one of them is Edison then, if they were going to reinvent themselves. I don't know if I was them, I'd quit my day job.
I think the hardcore AEW fan, the AEW fan in the bubble, needs to acknowledge that more and more fans groan every time these two guys come out, no matter how long you keep them on, off TV, on TV. No matter how long you keep them off TV.
No, they groan both ways.
They groan both ways. And the whole, how can I miss you if you ever go away? Sometimes you're happy someone goes away. And it could stay that way for at least a while.
Do you feel that they didn't stay away nearly long enough sometimes?
So I think the problem is for the Sting retirement match, some of the negative feedback. Again, some people are saying the Bucks may be the perfect opponents. For the other people, the 12,000 people that bought tickets, maybe it's more than that. I mean, it's sold out.
15. It's
a sellout. I mean, this is going to be their biggest domestic show probably all year, unless, I guess maybe Arthur Ashe. We'll see.
Good luck.
But that crowd, you would have to think, if you're buying tickets in advance for a show advertising Sting's retirement, there's a chance that crowd may not be Young Bucks fans, or not even fans, but an audience that's as conducive to them as they would be Sting, traditional Sting.
Yes. And why we just mentioned the perfect opponents, FTR, the best all-around pro wrestlers on the roster, still in their primes and able to do everything that you would need to do to get either Darby or Sting or both over, instead of the flippy, floppy, goofy bullshit from these flaccid, flabby, skinny, fat, old, young buckaroos.
I've heard of skinny fat. Old young is new. I have not heard that one before.
They look like children, but they're almost eligible for AARP.
That's going to be a new title for Tony next year.
The old young bucks. So, I mean, and that took us exactly 30 seconds to realize. Of everybody on that roster, the people in Greensboro, North Carolina would want to see these professional wrestlers engage with Sting and Darby Allin, not trampoline cowboys. Yeah.
Well, Jim, that was AEW Dynamite, and that was the return of the Young Bucks, the Elite, back running things in AEW. Hangman Page getting involved in the main event picture, and now the Young Bucks showing up with their new hat and look. And of course, if you had to place a bet on what you thought was going to happen at AEW Revolution, Sting's retirement match, will it go over with that crowd? Will it not work with that crowd? Will it be an excellent match? Will it be the tribute everyone wants? If you wanted to place a bet, you may be able to go to the official partner, in one sense or another, of ours. What are they exactly?
I don't know where will it go round in circles? Will it fly high like a bird up in the sky? Will it go around in circles?
I'm talking about our friends at DraftKings, and they believe in us so much that their copy is bare this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, here's the thing. They know that neither one of us are experts in the gambling philosophy because, we're inexperienced. We're naifs. We're naive. We're babes in the woods at the last time that I placed a bet and won that bet was in 1986 when I won $50 off of Ric Flair in the University of Louisville, North Carolina College Basketball Showdown. And then I quit while I was ahead. And you're not a big sports bettor, even though you're a sports fan. But there are people we are broadcasting to right now that on a regular basis, they go out there and they win all kinds of money. They have new swimming pools put in with the money they win. They have new hookers come over to the house with the money they win. Whatever they do with their money, it's up to them, folks, and it's not for us to judge.
Or maybe they just invest and they're reasonable, nice people.
And they're reasonably nice people who can invest in hookers and blow and things like that because they want all this.
That's not an investment. That's an expenditure. That's not an investment.
But then you're going to get, in return, you're going to get something for it, a good time for it, at least some period of time.
Chlamydia,
until
gonorrhea,
things head south, and then the leprosy angle comes in. But anyway, a lot of the listeners out there, they like to bet on the sports. They like to win the bets that they place. Obviously, sometimes you lose. These collectors' plates can go down. However, if you go to DraftKings right now, the official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs and a fine sponsor of ours, is what you were trying to say earlier. They're going to help make the playoffs electrifying because you'll be shocked. Boy, when you make these bets and you see what happened, you'll be fucking shocked. Because new customers right now, you bet $5 on any of these games and you get $200 instantly in bonus bets. So they're just going to give you $200 if you bet $5. So if you win, well, you're practically fucking robbing them at gunpoint, for heaven's sake.
You're practically not robbing them. You're practically doing things the right way, the way they want you to do it. So,
well, you can win a lot more money by betting $205 than you can by betting just $5. And it's their money that they're going to be giving you if you win. So you're just stealing. You're just stealing from these people.
You're not stealing. You're accepting I don't even know if a gift is the right word.
Are you accepting some kind of bribe or to not
No!
go over and rough them up if they don't pay off? What are you talking about here?
There are no bribes involved in this. You're accepting a gratis, a wonderful gift for free, and you're doing it without any robbery being involved.
$5 in it. You ain't going to win this one. You can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use the code JCE. That's the way that you get the $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5. And I don't know if that goes up in increments. For example, if you were to bet $50, would you get $2,000 in bonus bets? I don't know. Maybe the crown is yours, they say. Maybe this whole scam is geared toward you. Seems like that would be just like taking candy from a baby. But
let's make sure we understand that it is not a scam. This is not a scam. I don't know why you would use that word.
It's an arrangement, wink, wink. But right now, if you download the DraftKings Sportsbook, you just do whatever you do to download a DraftKings Sportsbook app or any other app for that matter. However you download an app, you do it. And then apparently some guy in a fucking pinstripe suit comes knocking on your door and delivers you the odds and everything. And then you place your bets with that gentleman. And you better pay up when he comes back if you lose. But if you win, he'll be bringing you cash.
No.
In a black briefcase handcuffed to his wrist.
No cash. Well, I shouldn't say that, but no briefcase. There will be no gentleman coming to your door. It's a virtual online gentleman that you'll have no actual real-time interaction with.
So he's virtually a gentleman, but not quite.
It's not even he. It's an it. It's a
now, even though the line of work he's in is considered shady by some, there's no reason to dehumanize this poor guy.
That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying it overall is a virtual it that controls DraftKings. It's not necessarily a man in a top hat.
We're trying to get people to do business with DraftKings, and it's controlled by a virtual it. What is this? Some kind of artificial intelligence trying to take over the world? They're trying to get our information.
Virtual it is what happens when you don't send copy for your spots.
Well, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app if you know how to download an app, because I don't know how to do that, and use the code JCE. And if you know how to bet on sports, which I have no experience with either, then if you bet $5 and you're a new customer, you're going to get $200 in bonus bets. And if you watch these people play the football and you're reasonably certain you can figure this shit out, well, go ahead and do it. DraftKings Sportsbook app right now, code JCE, $200 in bonus bets. That's the best I can do for you, not having a single fucking clue of how this whole shit works.
That's right, and whether you have a clue or not, DraftKings is there for you. One more time, what's that promo code, Jim?
JCE. The crown is yours. And also, it says, gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or text HOPE New York 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777. Boy, you hit the jackpot. Don't call, just play again. Or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. Oh. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, we thank you. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario, the giant black hole that is creeping ever wider. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Is that even in days? See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Or just don't do any of that and just make your bet and see what happens.
All right, DraftKings, the official betting partner of Jim Cornette. But Jim, with that, we're going to move on to AEW Dynamite. Remember when it had CC back in their copy? Instead of C1, It said CC.
Yeah, CC Ryder. Just see what you have done. Oh, see, well, CC Ryder.